Welcome, everybody. Yeah! Boom, 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 boom.
Wake up, everyone.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the American Idiot Show, episode 22.
Wow.
And what better to celebrate episode 22 with two Tonys? Two Tonys in the house. TT, two Tonys. We welcome to the show for the first time both Tonys, but let's go ahead and start with Tony from Early Doors TV. How you doing, Tony? How you doing, man? You doing? Having a good week?
I'm doing good. I'm doing really good. And like I said, it's nice to be invited into the show. You two up top there, brilliant guys, and always watched what you do. Dal, like I said, we've spoken many times before. So yeah, brilliant. Absolutely superb to be on this show. Thank you very much.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. And then we have the famous. He doesn't need any introduction. He doesn't need an introduction. We have Tony Claude Gunner TV on. Tony, how you doing, brother?
Yeah, guys. I am home. I'm home.
Yeah.
Guys, yeah, it's been a long time coming, yeah. I've been working with this guy, yeah, called TJ Warren. He's been on my channel lots of times, guys. He's one funny cat, yeah, very funny human being. And say he's also doing it with also a very big friend of mine who has also improved my channel, the Oregon Gooner. Big ups to you, my brother. I said the job you two are doing down here, big work. More strength to your elbows, yeah. Keep growing, keep pushing this channel. And those of you in the chat, you know what to do, yeah. Tony Claude is in the house, guys. Big ups.
Oh, yeah, let's go, baby. Let's go. Let's just say that, and then Dal, of course, my co-host with the most interesting Nike hat I think I've ever seen in my life.
Yes, I was just telling you guys backstage, a bird did not shit all over my head. It's an old PGA Nike Golf Tour hat. I bought it at the sporting goods store, and actually in Las Vegas, because it was in Las Vegas a couple of years ago. We thought it would be fun to go to Vegas in June for fun, and we were there when it was a heat dome for the week. So it was 113 degrees for like 5 days straight. We were there.
Oh,
and
my God.
I didn't bring a hat with me. It was the PGA Tour, and I was watching a bit of golf with my father-in-law, and I got this one, and I got one similar for him as well. So, yeah, thank you. It's a very big logo. I don't represent Nike in any way, shape, or form, but they could call me for the check. Anyway, yeah. Everything's good, man. Friday afternoon. Great to see everyone in the chat. Great to have the two Tonys on with us for the very first time, but not the last. And
Yes.
I'm ready to get into it, guys. It's going to be a busy weekend.
Oh my God. It is the start of the Premier League season, everybody. It's what we've been asking for. Me and who was I talking to? No, it was me and Connor. Me and Connor were talking about this the other day. We're just like, I'm so tired of talking about transfers. Let's get to the season. I need something more dynamic to talk about. And instead of, when is Harry Kane gonna go? When is Declan Rice gonna get in? I'm so done with it. Let's watch some football. That's all I gotta say. Before we get into the football talk, let's say hi to the people in the chat. Big up, Josh, True Gooner. How you doing, brother? We got to get you in one of these squares here in a minute, very, very soon. True Gunner is a legend. We have Jaminho inside every single time. What's up? Paul Rossi. Paul Rossi, legend, top guy.
Top guy.
Across the pond, Sport Talk is here. We got Elias here. Why is he doing? He's already telling his jokes. We got Traps inside. Traps, big up Traps.
That's my brother, man.
Traps booming inside. What's up right now? We got Eddie.
Big up to
We got
Traps,
Eddie inside right now, coming over here from Sarcasm City TV. Big up Eddie every single time, baby. Big up. And then we got, who else we got in here? Clock Orange in here every single time. Yes.
Nice guy.
Yes. So we got 16
Kyan is
inside.
also in the house. Big ups, Kyan.
Yep.
Kyan, thanks for
Big
dropping in by to the show, man. Big ups to you, Kyan.
100%. Okay. And make sure you are smashing likes, subscribing to the channel if you are new, and, of course, subscribing to everybody on the panel today. We got Early Doors Football TV, Tony Glad Gunner TV. Go over to their YouTube channels right now. Hit the control. Hit the control. Open a new window. Go to YouTube. Search these guys and subscribe right now. Okay, let's go ahead and get into it, guys. We're gonna start with Arsenal because I do want to get to West Ham. I want to get Early Doors idea of where West Ham is going this season, since he is in fact a hammer. But let's get into the Arsenal first. Arsenal versus Man City this weekend. I want to get everybody's feeling on it because I got to tell you guys, I'm nervous. I think I let everybody know that during our last live stream, especially yesterday when I was on Tottenham away. I don't know, guys. I'm a little nervous about it. We're looking a little thin up top. We got Eddie, Murphy, and Kedia leading the line most likely this weekend. Dow, how are you feeling about this? And how quickly should we sub on Trossard?
I'm thinking that Eddie and Kedia shouldn't get on the bus, and Trossard should start up front, or Martinelli and put Trossard on the left. Those are the attacking options. Obviously, Saka's going to play if he's feeling well. I don't know, man. I need Kedia going up against that Ruben Diaz. Yeah, okay, that's going to work out well for us. I know it's Carl. You're too nice. So yeah, thanks, Carl, for throwing off my train of thought there. But yeah, I just think that it's a shit show with Eddie. Obviously, it's just not. It's not going to be productive. He's not going to be able to break through that defensive line, even when they push up as they're going to press. How's Eddie going to get the ball? He's not going to get the ball. That's just the way it's going to go. And I even think if Trossard or Martinelli up there, we're going to struggle up front, no matter who's up front, because they're going to play a high line and knock everything back. So the trick is to get the ball out wide and avoid Eddie at all possibilities, and hopefully don't pass it to him. Don't even look at him. And again, hopefully he doesn't even show up on the bus. But he is going to be on the bus, and he's going to probably be in that starting lineup. So I don't know what the hell we're going to do with Eddie up there, TJ. I really don't know. I want to see Balogun up there. I mean, if we're going to sell him, we need to make the decision soon, right? Like soon, like tomorrow. If not, start Balogun. Let's see what this guy's got. If they want to sell him, put him on display. Why not? Everybody wants to watch the plate match, right? For the big silver plate. Balogun, come on. You know, it's a no-brainer. Eddie shouldn't be on the bus. Start Balogun. Give the kid a chance, or put Trossard up there. That's my take on it.
Yeah, and we'll get the full lineup, but I really just wanted to say, I'll give my take before I throw it over to Tony Claude here. If Trossard doesn't start, we start the carousel all over again. That's what I'm really, really afraid of. And I want to ask this question to everybody. Has Mikel Arteta learned his lesson? That's the question that is going to be the main talking point throughout the season. Yeah, and Tony's already shaking his head no, because he knows. He knows. My buddy Matt. And if you go subscribe to the Southern Gooner if you haven't already. The Southern Gooner had an incredible live stream. Incredible live stream this morning.
Oh, man.
He had an incredible live stream this morning. Talking about hope strategy. We hope things will work. We hope things will work out. There's a lot of gambling going on in this club right now, and I think we're about to gamble on 0-0 again, aka Eddie Nketiah. It'll eventually the ball lands on green, but it doesn't happen very often. So that's the thing that I'm worried about with Eddie Nketiah. We need Trossard up top, Martinelli on the left, Saka on the right. I want us to win this game. I know it's not a real trophy. I get it. I know it's not. I have never considered the Community Shield a real trophy. But let's show some intention here. Let's show the Premier League that we are not a club to be messed with. That is what we want. We went and spent all this money, $200 million on 3 players. Let's show some intent. Tony Claude, what do you think?
Thanks, TJ, man. And of course, see, Oregon Gunner, you hit the nail, yeah, where it should be hit. See, Mikel Arteta has spent, close to 700. Guys, let that sink in, 700 million pounds. That's 300 million shy of £1 billion. Yeah, that's huge. That's huge money since it's come to this football club. Yeah, that's big money. And of course, there's this thing we always say: to whom much is given, much is what expected. Yeah.
Mhm.
So this is the time to put up or shut up. Yeah. He has to deliver this season. Uh, in terms of Manchester City, see TJ, yeah, this guys, we've not beaten this guy since 2017. Let that sink in. Yeah, just let it marinate. Those of you in the chat, let that
It's
let
been
that
marinating with me for 2
marinate
years.
deep into your soul right now. In 16 games, you've not even scratched this guys. And the last scratch we gave them actually came in 2017 in the FA Cup semi-finals. That's huge. That means that even before Mikel Arteta came to the football club, we've been so shy, so afraid to knock it about with the boys, with this Man City boys. It's very difficult. It's gonna be a wary time come Sunday, TJ. Very wary time. And of course, since we spent all this money, we've brought in Kai Havertz for about £65 million. Brought in the Ice Baby himself, what they like to call him this time, Rice, for about 100. Guys, £105 million. Guys, let that sink in again and again. It's time to show up. It's time to show up. The tactics need to be kept simple. I saw Lee Gunner, yeah, he was talking about with one of his reels he released yesterday. He was talking about how Mikel Arteta doesn't keep it simple. Football is a simple game. Keep it simple. Put the players where they should be at. Yeah, don't tinker about. Let Julian Timber play the best position that suits him. It's not a curse for a player to be able to understand and play in so many areas. It's not a curse. It's actually a blessing. But again, don't tinker about. Put the players where they should be in the best way that they want to deliver their footballing game, and let's get cracking at this. Let's get cracking at this. I want to see a beautifully well taught technical game on Sunday. There are those people that are saying, well, it's just the community shield. I'm sorry, guys. There is no community shield in my own eyes. I want to win all the trophies, Emirates Cup, the Community Shield. I want to win the FA Cup. Yeah, guys, I want to win the FA Cup. I want to win the league. How about a three-peat? Yeah, TJ and Oregon Guna. I want to win all those titles. In the Champions League, I want to get to the semi-finals. How about that, guys? How about that? So it's put up or shut up time,
I'm
man.
with you.
He has to deliver. He has to deliver.
I agree. I agree. Tony, without the clot in it, what do you think?
Well, I mean, if you look at it, as you said, you spent big money, so there's obviously there's a big price tag on the club, and you're obviously going to be looking for results. But honestly, yeah, I mean, like as Matt said there earlier on, your tactics, Arteta, I don't know. I think if you look at it, the reason why he's the apprentice is because the master is still top, and because of that, yeah, City will still, I think, dominate. And as much as I understand Tony Claude's comments there, obviously, you know, want to win the cup, want to win the league. Of course, you've got to be ambitious. Considering the season you had last year, it's riding high on you guys now, so the expectations are that much higher. And if you're not going to get that,
Right.
then you know the question is going to be raised: who's going to be doing what? Is Arteta still going to be in the job? Why is he still in the job? You know, you're going to get all these kind of comments coming out. I mean, obviously, I saw the comment from Jaminho saying that, you know, they were scammed on 105 million for Rice. You know, it was a penny spent well.
Jaminho has a vendetta against him, though. I can't take it too seriously.
Yeah, he doesn't really he doesn't really fancy the Glen Rice, innit?
You can't believe that, TJ. You know, he knows the Irish blood with Rice. He's been around Jaminho's house. They've had tea and meals, and you know he loves him. You know he loves him. But seriously, no. I think if you look at it, Sunday's going to be an interesting statement because, as Tony Claude said there, 105 million, well, 700 million spent. You're worth more than what Man City are at the moment. Unless this Gardaval deal goes through, then obviously they kind of go back over again. So, yeah, the expectation's high on you guys. And you know full well, all the other clubs are just waiting to see what happens on this game on Sunday.
Hmm.
Yeah, I agree, guys, both with all those points. And I was just thinking to myself, right, this Community Shield means a lot more to us. We want to win it, obviously, because it's Man City. I think I would feel differently if it was, like, Rochdale or just some, like Crystal Palace or somebody, or just some, like minnow type club. But since it's Man City, we have to put on a fight, a real fight, a real display of power of what we can do. And what Arteta said, this, or like Tony said, the strategy has to be there. It has to be there, because if we go in there and just start thinking that we're going to, make it simple, that's going to be difficult, but it is still going to have to be simple in the way we just execute, right? But we know it's going to be more difficult than that. So I'm thinking that City's a bit weaker, right? If Bernardo Silva possibly may not play, right?
Yeah.
He probably will, but he may not.
Yep.
We don't know really. Their midfield without Gudowan in there is a little weaker. So I'm kind of curious what their midfield is going to look like. What do you think, TJ? What do you think the City's midfield is going to comprise of?
It doesn't matter. They have Kevin De Bruyne. Kevin De Bruyne and Rodri.
Dang.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all you got to say, man. Like, and look, they might have lost. They might have lost their Mahrez. They might have lost a couple of key pieces there, but you still have Pep Guardiola calling the shots. I've said,
Right.
every stream I go on, and I know Tony, you're Tony Claude, you're seeing the same thing on every stream that you go on, every stream that you host. They're saying, TJ or Tony, where do you expect Arsenal to finish? And every single time, I cannot confidently say we're going to win the league. I think we're going to do second or third, because it all comes down to one of the greatest managers. And I think it's not a debate. It's one of the greatest managers to ever manage in this game, Pep Guardiola. He is a mastermind. He is playing 2 steps ahead of every team that he plays. And, just because he's in there, I think just having that mind in front of that team far outweighs a lot of the stuff that we've done over the transfer window. And a lot of people might disagree with me with that and say, we bolstered this, that, and the other, but guys, we're still potentially starting Eddie Nketiah again. So that's my big thing, is that, the Pep Guardiola is still the ace in the hole every single time in Manchester City, man. That guy can make a mountain out of a molehill very, very quickly for us. And I wouldn't, like I said on a previous stream, I would not be surprised if we lost 2-0, 3-0, just because we do not look solid in attack without Jesus. We just don't. There was an interesting comment earlier. People are starting to put in their starting 11s, which is awesome. That's a conversation that I want to get into with you guys. Clock Orange put something interesting here. Ramsdale, Timber, Saliba, QER, Tierney, Rice, Partey, Trossard, Martinelli, Saka, Havertz at the 9 position. Would you do that, Del?
No, I would put Trossard or Martinelli up there.
Yeah. I think it's interesting that a lot of people want to throw Havertz in there right away. I don't think that he's ready. Maybe in an FA Cup game or a early League Cup game, we could see what he has to do up there. But I really don't think Havertz in the 9 position. That was honestly, if you asked me that a couple of weeks ago, that would have been my worst freaking nightmare, because we see what he did at Chelsea. We see what he did at Chelsea, and the proof is in the pudding.
We've had streams too where we've talked about, that's Chelsea, that this is a different team. He's going to get the ball in different positions and so forth. He's going to be used differently, possibly, more of the Xhaka role. I mean, we'll see. I kind of want to cut off what he did at Chelsea, because that's really, like, you can look at all players and go back to what they did at previous clubs, but I get it. We can only go with what we've seen, right? But I think that, and I agree with Tony Claude on this. I think there's really a player in there, because I know Tony Claude's talked about this a bit too, about, Havertz probably just hasn't gotten the fair shake since the transfer, but he has looked pretty good in preseason. Of course, got a couple goals, MLS, whatever. but at the same time, he's going to be used in a different way, we hope. And hopefully that just the new players around him will bring out a better player. So I think there's some hopes for Havertz. I don't necessarily know if I'd start him against City this weekend, but I still think there's hope there.
Yeah.
Hmm.
What do you think?
The
What do you
problem
think, Tony
with that,
Clark?
though, Al, is with Havertz in the friendlies, like you said, he's been given the opportunity there, but the pressure's going to come on when the season starts because then
Right.
everyone's going to expect more out of the guy. You know what I mean?
Right.
And to go on to your question about in the midfield for City, won't surprise me that Pep goes with Kovacic because obviously he's going to give that little bit of fight, a little bit, the Bulldogs kind of kicking, nip of their heels, their ankles, give them a little clump
Right.
every now and then. That's what he's going to be there for. It wouldn't surprise me at all.
I forgot that was such an early transfer. I'd forgotten about him going there, to be honest.
It's so long ago.
Yeah. What do you
Yeah.
think, Coach?
Guna, in the last issue, because I wanted to say it, but we moved on, we progressed quite quickly.
Mhm.
The main thing, it doesn't matter who plays in the midfield for Manchester City in this game. What matters is Arsenal's mentality. And I'm sorry, our mentality has come up short every time we play Manchester City. The proof is in the pudding. We've lost to these guys helplessly 16 times in a row. It's that bad. We need to get our mentality to a state that it's either at par with Manchester City. So whenever we play, when we go to play a game against Man City, we actually lose even before we go playing that game. That's what the pressure of Pep Guardiola, that's what he brings to the table. So is our mentality all right? Is our mentality up to Manchester City? Have we upped our game? Well, let's see. Sunday determines a lot more than what people attach to it. It matters a lot what happens on Sunday. Our mentality, the way Mikel Arteta sets up, and his first 11. That takes us to this Kai Havertz stuff. Oregon Guna, I have a show with you. We just started our show on my channel last week. It was a big success. But we talked about Kai Havertz, and I see that many people have a bone to pick with this guy, and Arsenal brought this guy for £65 million. So Arsenal fans should suck it up right now because you have to accept it. You can't bring in a signing, a £65 million and put him on the bench. I'm sorry, he's coming here to play. And trust me, Mikel Arteta really knew how he wanted to use him, how he wants to employ him in this team. So it's his signing, it's his blessing, it's his curse. He now has to use this guy and utilize him the best way that he can. And you know what? I saw signs of rejuvenation. In that MLS game, of course, MLS is this, MLS is that, but he scored a goal, right? Because when he didn't perform in the challenges, everyone gave him stick. Good. He scored in that game against Barcelona. Have you seen the changing dynamics? We have a number 9 in this football club that doesn't do anything in the 18-yard box. I'm talking of Gabriel Jesus. He goes out to link up play. And when those loose balls come into the 18-yard box, I'm sorry, no one is there to get in at the end of those loose balls. Right now, it complicates the whole issue because right now, that number 9, it's injured right now. He won't be in our first maybe 4, 5, 6 games this season. So we're in a very, very big, complicated situation. Guess who's going to come and save the day if Trossard maybe gets a niggle? We all know Mikel Arteta is a very stubborn coach. What if he says, you know what, Trossard, I'm not buying your antics in the summer. I'm not buying it. See, don't be surprised. It has happened. He was the best player in March and didn't even see a sniff of a start in April. So don't think it's far from reality what I'm saying. I'm just in wild statement.
No, of course not. But would you put Havertz up front? If you don't have Balogun and you don't want to play Eddie, would you stick Havertz up front or would you put Martinelli or Trossard up there right now?
See, man, personally, I would like Balogun to be there because it's a strong striker. His first touch, impeccable. He could score you goals, but he needs chances. But I'm sorry because Amorelie already checked this reality box. Mikel Arteta doesn't fancy Balogun as a see. You have to come into that reality realm with me. He doesn't like this guy. This guy's not going to get a sniff in that team. In fact, he's not going to play in any games at all. Let's get that right in there.
Mhm.
Yeah, Kai Havertz is that guy that this guy sees as a potent, changeable, versatile number 9. If Gabriel Jesus is not in at the end of those loose balls, he really believes that Kai Havertz might be that man. So
Yeah,
let's just see
yeah,
what happens. Let's
sure.
see. I don't really believe that Trossard has bought Mikel Arteta up right now with that showing he had in the summer. I don't think so. And I don't think Arsenal fans should be surprised hearing that because it has happened before. He
Mhm.
scored goals for us and he couldn't start in April. But what are the odds?
You're right. You're absolutely right. There's no denying
He's
that.
been so consistent though. That's the thing. Obviously, he's been consistent in his position, but man, we saw him perform there last season before Jesus came back. Jesus comes back, and we lost that little bit of edge in our attack. I haven't forgotten that. Hopefully,
Yeah,
Arsenal fans haven't forgotten
Yeah,
that.
we lost our winning streak of 6 games in a row when he was a striker.
Yeah, I know. It's one of those things where I don't understand why this is a question. Start him now. And maybe you can bring on Nketiah in the later stages of the game if it isn't working, or Balogun, but I don't think Balogun is going to play.
TJ, are you dreaming? Are you dreaming?
I wish I am dreaming.
Eddie Nketiah just scored in the last game.
So
do you think
so
Mikel Arteta? No.
what?
I'm in the mind of Mikel Arteta. You
I
must
know
be
in the
joking
mind,
if you
yeah.
think Eddie Nketiah
In the
won't
mind,
start.
yeah, I
he
know.
just
In the
scored a
mind,
goal.
in the mind
He's a
of
dream guy. He's gonna play.
yeah. Big up Jez. In the mind of Arteta, yeah, you know, he put the here's the thing is that all the Nketiah, you know, all the people that drop their pants for Nketiah now are losing their mind because they put the armband on him. So now they're like, oh man, he could be a leader, blah 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 blah. I had to get off Twitter for about 24 hours, guys. I'm not even gonna lie to you. And yeah, it's one of those things where what have you done for me lately syndrome is kicking in, but I don't take the what have you done for me lately syndrome when it's against Monaco. I mean, you know, fair play. They're in the top, the middle tier of the French league, which I rate that league. I've said it 1,000 times. I rate a league that Kylian Mbappe has been in. I rate a league that Flo Balogun finished 4th in scoring in. But Monaco, they're not great. And we played a not great game, so we barely squeaked by with our own cup that we are supposed to win, our own fake cup. You know, it's one of those things where, you know, Flo is gone. You're likely going to see Trossard, Martinelli, or Nketiah up top. I am interested to hear all 3 of your starting 11s, and then I want to talk a little bit outside of Arsenal going into the game. So Dal, give us your starting 11 for this weekend, and then let's talk about this. Let's talk about what's going to come up during this Prem season.
Big up Jazz, who is in the charts. Yeah,
Big up Jazz,
Jazz is in the charts. Legend, pure legend.
Every time, Jazz.
Big up to
Firmino,
Jazz.
Carl.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go with
Good
Ramsdale, Turney on the left, Saliba, Gabriel, and then on the right, I want to see Timber. I think he's probably a little bit better than Ben White in some aspects. So
Wow. Okay.
yeah, he's a right back at Ajax. Put him at right back against City. Let's see what he can do.
Yeah.
You know, I want Tierney to play because I want some defense. I think if Timber plays on the left, he's going to be forced to do the inverted role, which leaves us vulnerable on the left side. There's a point where I just want to go 4-4-2 and just lock down the whole midfield. But he's not going to do that, right? He's going to play a 4-3-3. So with that said, that's my back four. Keep Ramsdale in there because you pull him now and his confidence will dive. So
Yeah,
I
you're
know
right.
we'll talk more about that too because I see Raya up there. Anyway, my midfield 3, I got to go with Party at CDM. And I'm going to go Rice on the left and Odegaard on the right. And then my front 3 is Trossard, Martinelli, and Saka.
Yes, I can't wait to see Bukayo Saka back on the right.
And I want Party in there to provide some stability and organization because I think Declan Rice will be able to do that in the future. I don't think he'll be able to command that midfield and boss that area as well as Party right now. So I think Rice plays the Xhaka role and plays the number 8 and goes box to box and helps Party defend. Odegaard, of course, does his little ticky-tacky thing, but it's important that Rice gets back and not get caught as well. So I think Party brings stability to everything. It's important that he starts, and I'm glad that we're not selling him. I think he signed a 2-year extension. So, yeah, I think that's my starting 11.
I love it. I love it. All right. You're Mikel Arteta now, Tony. I'm calling him Tony Hammer. Tony Hammer. You are you're Mikel Arteta. Who are you starting against Man City, the European champions, by the way, Premier League champions, FA Cup champions? Who are you starting?
No pressure at all then. So basically I'd go with Ramsdale in goal, and I'd go 4 at the back, Tierney, Gabriel, Saliba, Timber. Just in front of them, I'll change what Dale said there. I'd have Rice as a CDM. And then I'd have basically Martinelli out on the left, Saka out on the right, Odegaard and Partey. And the top man, for me, Balogun. Give him his chance. He needs to be given a chance.
You would come up
who do you have in the center? Who do you have in center mid? You said Rice.
Odegaard and
else?
Partey. Odegaard and
Partey?
Partey and Rice just behind them. So he's just playing in front of the back 4. So he's going to be soaking up things, playing it out to the wingers.
Has Partey ever played in that LCM position? I don't remember if he has or not for Arsenal.
Thomas Partey has played right back in this team.
I know, but I didn't know if he did. If he played left center. I don't know if he played left center mid, man. He can play anywhere, in my opinion, as long as he's on the field. He's such a
what Tony Hammer's saying. He's going to expect an if he was Arteta, he'd want Rice and Partey to sort of interchange on that left defensive side. Because Partey can go up, right? We've seen him go up there, blaze shots over in the north stand. You're right. He's blazed shots over the bar many times. So Partey will get up the pitch. So I get where Tony Hammer's coming from. If you just keep Rice back there to sustain the back 4, you can't have Partey go up the pitch. But I think Rice is a bit faster at doing that, and that would be my only little change.
He's box to box now. Rice is box to box, and guarantee if he goes forward, then Partey can then drop back, and then you've got Odegaard and Rice then on the attack. So you've got that option.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with you there. Tony Claude, what do you think?
Just keep it simple. But I have to look at it the way Mikel Arteta is going to look at it. When Jurrien Timber came in and played from the right as a left fullback, there was a reason. It's testing him out there. Yeah, he can't afford to lose White, who is British, in that right back position. This is the truth. So he's just trying to tinker with the whole thing and see how he could be able to include Jurrien Timber into that back 4. So this is how it's going to look like. Maybe not what I want, but how I think it's going to look like. 2 centre-backs, Saliba, Gabriel, of course, they're our best centre-backs we have at the football club right now. I'll start White. I'll give White a start, because of what he's done for us last season. I feel he's one of those most improved players in this league. Jurrien Timber might start in the left-hand side as a left fullback. So I think that's what's going to happen because Mikel Arteta used them in that position in our last match. So I think it's going to happen. In that midfield trio for me, Partey would take that position of the central defensive midfielder. I want to see Declan Rice a little bit, as a kind of like a box-to-box kind of midfielder. There was a one-on-one ball he actually got through into the heart of the Barcelona defense, if you watch. That is the kind of Declan Rice you want to see. I know he has the ability to drive the ball forward, create chaos in some certain cases. He could literally score you goals. I want to see him interchange with Thomas Partey in that CDM role because they have the they have the skill set to do that, so they can both interchange. Sometimes Declan Rice could come back, sit, protect our back four, while Thomas Partey, who in his own right could actually drift upwards. Most times he is a good possession baller. He likes keeping possession of the ball. He could drift down with the ball. Also, he's that good. He has that in his technical abilities. And
Right.
mind you, he's scored some setting goals at times. So it's in his wheelhouse. So they can both interchange. I see two of them doing that. And of course, to top of the midfield diamond, Odegaard, we're just a bit of cherry at the top of that midfield. And of course, my front three. This is going to. This is gonna itch because I don't think he has enough faith in Trossard. I'm sorry, I don't think Arteta. Let's be frank, he doesn't like this guy in a way. He doesn't.
Doesn't make sense.
I a lot of this preseason.
I'm serious. I literally see Kai Havertz starting that matchup. I'm sorry. And again, he just came in for £65 million. I don't think it's going to sit him up on the bench. I think Gabriel Martinelli will start up that match in that front three. And of course, Bukayo Saka. I'm sorry. I'm so much of a realist. I don't dream when it comes to things like this because I've seen these guys bite me in the ass lots of times. So, that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. I'm sorry.
Would you guys be all surprised if he played Jorginho instead of Partey?
I wouldn't be surprised at all. I wouldn't be surprised at all.
It's possible.
Yeah, especially with the
Thomas Partey is in the news again. Thomas Partey is in the news again. Juventus just came to negotiate a deal with Arsenal. In fact, they flew in some representatives to check on Thomas Partey and his situation at Arsenal. I still think Arsenal is still 1 foot in, 1 foot out when it comes to Thomas Partey, which is ridiculous, mind you. But again, it's possible. Arsenal just brought in Declan Rice for £105 million. I'm thinking these guys are scarring the market to just get at least a £50 million, at least a respite for what they've spent. That's what I think. Don't rule anything out when it comes to Arsenal.
Yeah. All right. So here's what are we going with what I want or what I realistically think is going to happen? Sorry, I guess I should.
I went with what I want. He's not going to play Martinelli up front.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right. So I'll go Tierney at left because he's just incredible. He's so solid every single time. Gabriel Saliba, obviously Ramsdale in goal. On the right, Ben White. Sorry. Timber is still new. He's still new.
I think Ben White might be maybe even more of a solid call, actually.
Yeah. So, but and Ben White overlapping on the right, man, he did a lot of damage for us last season. I really want to keep doing it. It's true, but can Timber score? We haven't seen that yet.
We haven't.
We'll see. We shall see. Obviously, I want Partey at CDM. Rice on the left, center mid. Odegaard on the right, center mid. Martinelli, Trossard, Saka. I want Trossard up top so badly. But if we're being realistic, he'll probably start Timber on the left and Havertz in that center mid. Watch it happen. That's probably what it's going to be.
It is.
You're not dreaming.
You're not.
Yeah.
Reece Nelson
it's my lineup.
Ooh, it might even
Reece Nelson's still recovering, apparently from like a laceration or something like
still
that.
Still hungover from after the Bournemouth game.
Yeah, right. No, that guy's going to be eating off that for he got a contract off that. He's going to be eating off that for 4 years, man. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, exactly, Drew. White hasn't done anything to lose his place at right back. If Timber wants to fight, wants to play, he has to fight for his place. I think he will. Who's captain? It's going to be Odegaard. It's always going to be Odegaard.
Right. I don't think we brought Timber in to absolutely replace Ben White. I don't believe that to be true. They brought Timber in to enhance the left back side and the right back side when needed, and possibly play center back in a Carabao Cup game if needed because of injuries. Yeah, but there's just a part of me that wants. I think that Timber can really give Jack Grealish a hard time because he is faster than Ben White. He's quicker on his feet from what we've seen so far. I know Ben White's a solid guy. I'm not But I just think that Grealish, he's small, he's creative, he's low to the ground. Timber's also kind of a little bit taller, I think, in stature. Maybe they're about the same size. I think Timber would just give Grealish a harder time. If you guys can really see two, smaller in stature players really battling out. I think Ben White, he's 6'4" or something. I mean, he's, Jack Grealish, I think, can just dribble right around him at times, and we've seen that as well with Zinchenko, the nutmeg from Trent Alexander. And I just think Grealish has the potential to do that kind of shit against Ben White better than he could do it against Timber because of the size.
Yeah,
we got a question from our boy Traps Booming over here. Will Timber play CB? I'm going to answer this real quick, and we can go around, and then I want to talk about West Ham real quick before we get into just a little bit of David Raya talk. Will Timber play center back? Only if Saliba or Gabriel gets injured. Then you're gonna see it. No, exactly, and then you're gonna see a conversation between Kiwior and Timber. But I don't think Timber is gonna be first choice at center back in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah,
I really.
I'm asking a question.
Yeah,
guys.
do you
think?
Yeah, go,
think,
Tony.
Tim's been brought in to kind of act as cover for Saka because obviously that kid's been burnt out. I don't know how many times. He just plays him too much. So do you feel Timber could offer as a replacement, like, in certain games? Because like you said, as Dale said, he is a quick player and he can use that right as well as the left.
I don't know if Arteta sees him there. I mean, you see what's in Arteta's mind by the way he lined up against Monaco. He played Vieira on the right. He's trying to fit Vieira in wherever he can. And that worries me a little bit because that means he really does believe in this guy when he's done not very much or anything at all to deserve it. I think he's more of a detriment. He needs to go out on loan. He needs to eat a sandwich. He needs to get some bulk. But I don't think he would ever put Timber on the right because he has, 2 or 3 options right there. Not that we would agree with those options, but he really hasn't indicated that Timber would play like a right wing type position. What do you think?
TJ and my brothers Elidors and DVS. This Julian Timber stuff, it is a very difficult one to tinker with because Julian Timber is a very versatile player, like extremely versatile player. Playing for Ajax, he's always played as a centre back. Yeah, that's his area, that's his specialty. But mind you, when William Saliba got injured last season, we capitulated. I feel he is that replacement if William Saliba gets injured again. But I will still state this again. Being versatile is a blessing. It could also be a curse if you're not using it quite well. So it could also come in for Ben White, and we've recently seen him play in the left full back position. So see, this guy is quick with his feet. Oregon Gunnar stated it, quick with his feet, big thinker. But the big difference between this guy and any fullbacks that we'll ever have right now in our team, right now, is that when this guy drifts forward, when there's a back four with him, including that back four, and it drifts out in an inverted role, keeping that back four as a back three, drifting into midfield and giving us more options going forward. Most times it circles or patrols in between that CDM area when all these our midfielders go up front, and he can be able to protect our back four. And you know what? When he does those inverted roles going up upside in the pitch, he always remembers to come back and do what he was being paid to do as a defender. He comes back to defend, which is what Zinchenko doesn't actually know how to do, and can do whenever he goes upstate, when he goes up the pitch to go open up the defenses of our opposition. He totally forgets that he's a defender. But that's the difference Julian Timber brings into this team. When he goes into these lone inverted options that they put him through, he always remembers that he has to come back to defend. And it's fast, like Oregon Gunnar said. It's fast, it's quick, it's technical with the ball, and it can dribble. Literally reminds me of Cafu. I'm not saying it's Cafu level.
Oh, shit.
Thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying that. I was about to kick you off the stream, Tony Cloud. I'm not even gonna lie.
I'm sorry.
Here's what we
I heard
talk about.
somebody. Go
On
ahead.
the
Go ahead,
show,
Don.
we
Go ahead,
talked a bit about like Zinchenko and Timber, right? The little bit of the differences, and I think the differences is that Zinchenko went up the pitch further, right, to make that pass into the final third. Timber doesn't have to do that, right? So he can make that pass, that inverted pass from an inverted position, but not have to go up as far to the halfway line, right? Like Zinchenko did. He can pull back and play just a harder pass. His passing is just as good as Zinchenko's, if maybe a little bit better. Some of the passes he did against Barcelona were fantastic, like almost, whipping him around the pitch. Some diagonal balls that were great on to the right side to Saka. So yeah, Ben White at the right, Timber at the left. I'll take it, but I just still think that Kieran Tierney. I know someone put in the chat didn't have the time during this preseason and is probably not going to play that position. I fully get that, and that person's probably right. But I think that Timber against Grealish is a better matchup than Ben White against Grealish at this time. I really do. If and like Tony Claude said, play inverted, but just don't go to the halfway line to leave a big gap on the left side, right? There's a limit to where you need to be. You got to stay in your little quadrant or whatever the hell you want to call it, because Zinchenko's got caught out many times that we saw last season for being too far up the pitch to make that pass. Ripped apart.
Yeah, I mean,
right.
and he
He
even admitted today that he needs to work on his defending. I really hope, in the way that Saka was playing, a right back, right wing back, left back, left wing back kind of player. I hope that Zinchenko moves into, a utility CDM position. Like, I don't want to see him at left back this season. I just don't. It costs us too much without little result in the positive side. Yeah, he had a couple of good assists. I remember that through ball against Everton in the 4-0 win away. Like, I remember that. Those were good wins. But at the same time, what are you providing for us at the back? Not much. Not much. So I want to get Tony's thoughts on West Ham. We don't talk about West Ham. I think you are the first West Ham fan that we have had on the show. So
up the irons.
Up the irons, I guess. Thank you for your best player. Thank you for your best player. I really, really appreciate it. We appreciate it, I think. By the way, we're at 20.
Spend it all at Vegas.
Yeah. By the way, we're at 24 likes. Give me one more like, guys. 25 likes. Let's go. Big up to the 14 inside still here. But Tony, what do you think about West Ham's chances this season? Do you see any positives coming up? Obviously, you guys haven't really brought anybody in, but you saw your captain leave.
Yeah, well, for me, I mean, obviously, I knew it was going to come. The so-called gentleman's agreement, and yeah, I'm glad that if you look at it, I always, because like Matt, I coach as well, and I always say to my players, always look to play to the highest level possible. I'm not saying that Arsenal is the highest level possible, no offence, because I feel like, well, thanks very much for your time, TJ. It's been a pleasure. Take care.
No, we know. Trust me.
I think under Pep, he would have improved massively as a player. With Arsenal, I think he's going to get more game time than he would do at Man City, and I think that's what he wanted. Hence why he wanted to stay in London and he stayed with you guys. And yes, I know there's a lot of people saying it was big money, and for once, I'm actually glad that our owners held out for that money. The amount of times over the years we've produced players that have played for England and stuff like that, and we've let them go for peanuts. And the worst part about it, no sell-on clause. So they moved on to someone else. We missed out on several players. But at the moment, and you've got Moyes, he's got less than a year on his contract to go. We've now brought in Tim Steadtine to kind of be the sports director, and he likes young talent. He likes European talent, whereas Moyes is more British focused on what he wants to bring in, and this is where we've got this conflict of issues. So you can see, I don't know if you used to or have seen it on Sky Sports, Dale and TJ. It was proudly announced on the TV that yes, advanced talks with James Ward-Prowse. You know, it looks like it's very advanced talks. And then an hour later, West Ham walked away from the deal. And it's like, great, here's another one. Then we kind of bid. I mean, after we put, you know, that great price in for Maguire, £20 million, got flatly rejected. We did the same with Conor Gallagher, flatly rejected. So at the moment, yeah, we're in a mess. So position-wise, realistically, in that, I can see us struggling big time, and possibly, if we're not careful in that, it'll be another relegation battle, unless they get rid of Moyes early, which I think they will do. Because at the end of the day, you don't bring a new sporting director in to kind of say, like, well, we're still going to back the manager that we're getting rid of in 12 months' time. What's the point? It's just it's not, you know. For me, I mean, obviously, Stenstein is very closely linked with Xabi Alonso, so there's a possibility that he could become the manager. And of course, the other one that's kind of in the back wings at the moment is Graham Potter, so he would also fit the bill as well. Yeah, but for us now, it'd be ideal, you know. For when you look at Chelsea, it was just a big step for him. That was too much.
Would he be good? Would he be good without his players though? Because he kind of came into Brighton and molded that team a little bit. I don't know if he would be. I mean, and he proved at Chelsea that he really wasn't good with players that he didn't bring in. So that's kind of that's what I get. That's what I get a little worried about with Graham Potter. And you know, are you really that confident that Moyes is going to be out?
I think so. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I mean, when you look at it, I mean, Sullivan's kind of one of the, you know, he's the owner. He's an old stickler in the mud as well. So he's either going to stick with him, but like I said, what's the point of bringing in a new sporting director who's going to bring in the future of the club rather than stick with, you know, when you look at it, Maguire in the 30, you know, coming up to his 30s, you've got James Ward-Prowse doing exactly the same. Is that the future of the club? No, it's kind of getting by. And you guys know that very well. You've done that over the last couple of seasons. You've just got by. We don't want to be in that same kind of position again. We struggled last year, okay. You know, we actually won a bigger cup than you guys, believe it or not. The Europa Conference one, we're bigger than your Emirates Cup.
Get that in, stick it to our boots,
It's true. Stick it in. You know?
Tony Claude, did you see how I did that? It is just coming beyond the back door. It's very good, you know.
Just a little jab. Just a little jab.
I see the video of the kid crying. We now got more trophies than Spurs. We got more trophies than Spurs. I see that video. So, Tony Hammer. Tony Hammer, I got a question for you. 105 mil burning a hole in your pocket. Burning a hole. Do you go for Youssef Fofana from Monaco because he's a top defensive mid? Don't waste your time on James Ward-Prowse. Don't waste your time on Conor freaking Gallagher. You have $100 million to spend. You should get 2 top $50 to $60 million players in, to be honest. Your sporting director should be scouting, you know, looking at some of the Madrid guys who are kind of send-offs. Maybe there's a young player in there, but I think with your sporting director wanting more of a Spanish flair feel to the team, you can look at, you know, Brighton is kind of a blueprint for that with that kid they brought in Asensio, I think's his name. He scored against us. Yeah. In that 3-0. Yeah, that's right. Players like that, and then a real strong dynamic player. James Ward-Prowse is not going to get you top 10, bro.
All he's good at is free kicks. That's it. So unless we do roll on, roll off subs, that's the only thing you would bring him on for. You know,
there's European talent out there that would fit your club very well.
Yeah,
I think you have a lot of money to spend.
Yeah, that's true. And Tony,
on the
okay.
Yes, Tony, go on. I was going to say,
you can finish up, or I can. Yeah,
I was going to say, when you look at it, the fact that everyone's saying that we've got all this money and that, I mean, you guys paid on Klarna. You know, you paid it in free. You're paying it in 3 parts. Rather than
true.
And that's where the problem lies. You know, Not saying that we're not short of money, but yeah, we've got like there's Alvarez from I think it's Salzburg. I think there's Zakaria from Juventus. Fofana, as you mentioned there. Funny enough, there was a rumor banging around that even Balogun could be one we could be interested in as well, kind of thing. So that'd be, because at the end of the day, it looks like we're going to be losing Skamaka, and I don't think we're going to stick with Antonio for long. But the biggest problem we've got, though, Dow, is, like I say, it's this. Who dick's the biggest? To be blunt, between Moyes and Steadstein. He's the future of the club. Moyes is kind of leaving the club. Right. That's the way you've got to look at it, really. There's an internal, power battle going on at the moment, and I don't know. I think, like I said, I think Moyes will be possibly become the loser out of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Tony. Sorry.
Tony. Yeah. See, West Ham last season. 14th in the league. 42 goals. 42 goals scored. 55 conceded. Just last season alone, with 40 points gained. Last season. Now, just to pose it with what you guys are doing in the summer, you just lost one of the most influential English players in England, in Rice, to Arsenal. 105 million pounds, burning a hole in your pocket. You have an Italian striker, Coach Scamacca, who I really, really do respect. I've seen him in the Italian Serie A. He's a well-respected striker in Italy. I just feel that Moyes hasn't used him to his strength yet. And now we have David Moyes winning games in this preseason like it's some championship clubs is playing against. But see, he's won 5 games in this preseason. He hasn't lost. The last time he lost was against Leicester in the league. Won you guys an European trophy, came 14th. Do you think this guy should be the guy just because of the exploits he's done with you guys in winning that European Conference League? It's big. It's big, whether you like it or not. A better season than Manchester United, a better season than Arsenal, an European trophy. It depends on how you want to see it. Do you think Moyes should still be at this football club, mostly with how he's been, tearing stuff up in the preseason? He hasn't lost, only against Rennes, who is actually a superior team with the way they played in France last season.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when you look at, I'll go back on to what you said about Scamacca. You got to think the other player that we lost that Moyes never played properly was Sebastian Haller. Now, when he came in, Moyes likes this one man, and most teams play with one man up top. The biggest problem for me, we've not, you can't rely on Antonio to partner up with him, even if he sat behind him as that kind of false nine. It doesn't work. So we get rid of Haller. We lose money on Haller when we sold him off. So he goes to Ajax and he starts banging in goals. He then moves over to Bayern, and then basically again, he starts banging in goals. He gets cancer, gets treated for cancer, comes back in, starts banging in goals. So Scamacca, for me, Moyes has never played him with a partner, and we're expecting miracles out of a man who normally, like, the best example for me was Darren Bent when he was playing for Charlton. He was banging in goals. Spurs signed him.
Yep.
And Amos played the formation completely different. For a man that was scoring for fun, suddenly someone turned the tap off. There was no goals whatsoever. Yet Barron, then they're all saying that Darren Bent's shite. No. If you don't play to the strength of the player that gets you the goals, he's not going to get you the goals. And it's the same with Scamacca at the moment. So I can understand why he's frustrated. He wants to move on. But you're right what you're saying with the friendlies. The difference being on that, though, Tony, all the 4 other games we played 2 up top. For the Rennes game, Moyes went back to his old formation and we got slapped. Simple as that. We got slapped by Rennes. If he's in the channel, we know that Forest got slapped even harder. So there was a little bit of saving grace in that. But, there's two things that's come at the positives. And the only reason why Moyes is in there, I think, still in the job, is because of the Europa Conference. That's given him a little saving grace, a little bit of kind of buying time. And obviously the fact of we're bringing some good academy players up to first team standard. And that's the only reason why I think he's still here.
So do you think Moyes is just kind of at the end of his managerial career overall? He's getting up there in years a bit as well.
No, I don't think so. I mean, if you look at it, it was a case of, he was touted for the Celtic job before Rodgers was, and I think because obviously where he did well in the Europa with West Ham, I think that's the only reason why he didn't go for the Celtic job. Otherwise, I think he would have taken that. I definitely thought he would have taken it. Definitely.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if it's like you said, he changed the tactics, went back to the old Moyes and lost the game.
Yeah.
It's like, I have respect for Dave Moyes, watching him, in the middle 2000s with Everton. And Everton were kind of one of that teams that when they were playing, any teams that I thought were rivals, I would, cheer for Everton with Tim Cahill and that group up there. But at the same time, it's like you see these other teams like Brighton, right? And I use them as an example because they sort of evolve, right? They get younger players in. They've sold some of their top players with Ben White, Trossard. Obviously, I said he's going to go eventually. To who knows? Do you think West Ham needs that sort of young interjection too? Maybe just let Moyes go before the season. Say, great trophy, Dave. Great preseason, but we've really got a blueprint we need to work with, and you got to go. We need the young talent in. We need things to happen and progress, because I don't think that things will progress with David Moyes another year there, Tony. I really don't.
No, I don't think so either. I'll be honest with you. Yeah, I mean, if you look at it, it's quite ironic between us and you as Arsenal. When you think you moved to a new stadium, we moved to a new stadium. Both told exactly the same thing. We're going to compete in Europe. We're going to be with all the top teams. We're going to be this, that, and the other.
Right.
And then you can see where you are. Last season was your best opportunity for us, with the owners. Always promised the same thing in that. And I must admit, morning times I'm getting ready for work, and then Sky Sports comes on, and all you see is this helicopter sitting on the grass pad. I knew David Gold was going to start talking. And that's when I went to work, because I knew the crap he was going to start talking about. Oh yeah, we're gonna buy this player. We're gonna do this. Yeah, all right, okay. But yeah, I think that fresh injection, because if you look at like you mentioned Brighton there, look at De Zerbi.
Right.
He took over a side, and look what he's turned him into. He's improved them massively. So it proved it can work.
Yeah, absolutely. And I still think that you have a core setup there that is still really decent. If there was a one player you have right now that you would pick a squad around, what player would that be?
Well, there's two players. One's a first team regular in Jared Bowen.
Okay.
And the other one is Divan Ibamba, who's scored the goals in the friendlies.
So no Lucas Paquetá? He doesn't get is he a top player in your eyes for the squad, or?
Yeah. He is in there. So if you look at it, now that Rice has actually kind of gone to use guys, he can now step out from under the shadows, which Rice left. And he can become the better, he can actually excel as himself now. So I think that's what it'll be. The team will probably be moulded around Paquetá and Bowen. And if Bamba gets given his chance, then you've got that. The only thing that kind of, we've got Flapianski in goal, and it seems like Moyes prefers him over.
You're welcome.
Prefers him over the nipple. Then so he goes in there.
Right.
I like
I can't believe that guy's still playing.
Yeah, it's true, DJ. It's for me, I can understand what he's going with the experience with Flapianski. There's no two ways about it, and he's proved that in the friendlies. Areola, I mean, he got beat easily in the first goal that Rennes scored. I mean, yeah, that was just kind of see, Cole knows, he knows. But yeah,
Yeah, I'm kind of
I
surprised
know
that you
well
did
too.
not. I'm kind of surprised you did not put Paqueta's name in, into that fray, because is a very, very amazing player. Yeah, Brazilian, cool, tricky with the feet.
yeah,
In the midfield, I was quite surprised about that. But again, the bigger picture here for West Ham is that I don't think that your defense, you shipped in 55 goals last season,
Mm.
Tony. Yeah, I don't think your defense can cope, yeah, with what the Premiership will bring next season. You guys are the European champions,
yeah, I
European
agree on that,
Conference
Tony.
League. You'll be torn apart in Europe in terms of that. You will share duties in Europe next season, and you would share those duties with the domestic cup. And I'm sorry,
Yeah,
Agard, Zuma, Emerson, Corral, these guys can cut it for West Ham. Certainly not enough for you next season. What do you think about your defense? Don't you think you should be knocking on the door of that West Ham management? Because Moyes is having a very, very big rift. This morning, that report came up that he might be sacked, but he's having a very, very big rift in terms of signings with your football club. Don't you think you should be at
yep,
the back end right now, knocking on doors at West Ham? We need defenders. We need defenders. Solid
absolutely.
ones.
I mean, if you look at it, the rumor is that apparently we've put in another offer in for both McTominay and Maguire for Man United. So it depends what they're going to go with that. So Maguire, yeah, as much as he kind of
Hey, Maguire!
as much as,
Oh, oh,
as much as he's got mistakes in him, he does offer something a little bit different. I mean, he's a good player, but there's still mistakes in him. Zuma, injury prone. Cresswell, he was going to be going to Wolves. The deal collapsed, and it looks like he's still going to be staying. But you can tell that is he going to want to stay there? If he's looking to go already, I don't think he's going to do much. So yeah, and we can't rely on Kira. Don't get me wrong, he's got better, but there's still a mistake in that fella as well. So yeah, our defence is not exactly great. So we've got to rely on our midfield to try and do a job there. Flynn Downs, he's no Declan Rice. Yes, Paqueta. And the reason why I didn't say Paqueta in that, because you guys like nicking our players, so I have to keep it quiet, Tony. That's the reason why I did that.
We got more game time at West Ham than he would at Arsenal, so there you go.
Well, yeah, it's true. I think, the interesting thing to watch over, I mean, you're saying about Kivior kind of thing, eating a bowl of rice and put a bit more weight on. Ben Rama, he's put a bit too much on by the looks of it, looking in the friendlies. So he needed that. Yeah, there's a lot of things that need to be done. And this is the reason why, with the new sporting guys coming in, you've got this kind of internal conflict. And funny enough, you look at our coaching, I think we've lost 3 or 4 coaches. We were so lot on the coaching bench.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they're talking at one point, Steve Round that left you guys was going to come to us. Because I think he's made
all right.
So
Yeah. Well,
Wow. I mean, you think I forget that you guys got the money in installments. So forgive me there. That's right. You weren't getting 100 mil in one chunk, unfortunately. So I think Tony Claude just opened up a real can of worms there on the defense. Like, where do you spend that money now, right? I mean, do you invest in the midfield, or do you really invest in a more of a solid back four? I mean, I think that's a real dilemma you guys are facing right now, Tony Hammer. I don't envy where you guys are the foresight, because there really is kind of just a long light at the end of a dark tunnel, isn't it? I mean, there is. It's just.
But always, though, Dale, you try and build a spine of a team. Yeah, it's going to be hard. I mean, but you build a spine. So we've got that in Mbamba. So we've got the top part sorted out. We've got Paqueta in there. So you kind of got your midfield area there. Defense-wise, it's who do you go with? It's kind of like, you get one of them kind of spinning carousels, don't you? And flick it around and hope for the best. Right. Who's going to be the person? And then we're still kind of humming and ahhing. Are we going to start with Areola, or are we sticking with the tried and tested Fabianski? which it seems to be the case. So yeah, our back at the moment looks like a 90-year-old man with a crooked back. So we're not exactly great at the moment.
Oh my.
It's,
Okay.
it feels good to be top, TJ. I wouldn't want to be.
I know,
Exactly, man. Exactly.
Worrying about my next player coming in. Oh, geez.
we complain, but to other teams in the league, it's champagne problems, right?
Right,
So,
right.
we are lucky, but at the same time, we're also lucky to have supporters of West Ham on here, giving us a different perspective. So, of course, big up, Tony Hammer. Of course, I will not continue to call you that.
Forever.
All right, I do want to move on to our last subject because then I got to get out of here in 10 minutes, guys. So sorry to cut the stream short. I feel like we could keep going and going and going.
Sure.
But I want to get one more question out there, and it's about our connection recently in the transfer window to David Raya from Brentford. I like it. I said in our ambulance chasing breaking news stream last weekend that I want this transfer to go through. Is it a luxury? Yes, I do believe it is a luxury, but I think it shows intent. I think it shows that we want to compete and we are not willing to put somebody that is not Prem proven in the goalkeeping position in the Champions League. Or maybe even filling in the Prem when Ramsdale is playing in the Champions League, or if somebody picks up an injury, God forbid, right? So my view on it, I'll give it real quick, is I want David Raya, get him through the door. 35, 40 million. It's not my money. I don't care. So get him through the door and have a 1A, 1B situation with Ramsdale. Do I think he's better than Ramsdale? He could be. Do I think he starts over Ramsdale? No, he doesn't. Ramsdale is our goalkeeper, but Raya is a fine number 2, or as I just said, 1B. What do you think, Dow? Have you changed your mind over the last week, or are you still kind of holding the same position?
I think I've changed my mind a bit because of that. I think that deal is pretty much done. He's probably going to be announced next week. I think they'll get the final paperwork over the line this weekend for sure. No, it's healthy for David Ramsdale. Aaron Ramsdale. Because Ramsdale does need that competition. And a big shout out to Aaron Ramsdale. God bless him and his wife for what they went through during last season with the miscarriage. Obviously, we didn't know that. So, we banged on him pretty hard at the end of last season. So I want to backtrack on that a bit. I'm extremely sorry to hear what he went through. With that said, he is our goalkeeper, TJ. I agree, and he deserves the start. He hasn't done anything that's so catastrophic and bad to not earn him a start besides that throw out at Southampton, right? Every keeper will make mistakes. David Raya will make mistakes.
Raya will.
Slumps. David Raya will miss balls that he should have saved. David Raya will throw the ball out to the wrong person when the attacker's there. Those mistakes will happen. So is David Raya statistically better like we've seen on Tfue Football? If you're not familiar, Tfue Football on YouTube does analyst stuff for Arsenal. Go check him out.
I need to check that one out.
He does the green bars, right? Ramsdale's got a red bar on this, and David Raya beats him in statistics. But those are statistics, right? Aaron Ramsdale is a damn good goalkeeper. We saw it last season, some miraculous saves that I don't think David Raya would make, Thibaut Courtois wouldn't make, Unai Simon wouldn't make, David De Gea wouldn't make. So, goalkeeper, it's one of the toughest positions in the game, but Ramsdale needs a challenger, and we do need someone as strong as Raya, like you said, TJ, for the Champions League games, FA Cup games. People saying David Raya is not coming to sit on the bench. Well, David Raya doesn't really have much of a choice in that. If he wants to join the Arsenal, he's going to have to spend his time. And he does. And I think the deal is going to get done this weekend or Monday or Tuesday. But we should not hook Aaron Ramsdale because David Raya is our new goalkeeping signing. He's better than Turner, possibly. Turner, again, we talked about it last week. No real big mistakes, right? I mean, he's gone. He's going to go to Forest, and that's done. And we're getting Raya, and we'll see what happens. But it's a great signing, and all the more power to, again, Ramsdale, his family, and so forth, and what they went through. but I think it'd be extremely cruel to Aaron Ramsdale as a player, as a professional player, to get the hook for some new signing.
I agree. Tony C, I need to hear
want
your
to
take
vote on
on
this?
this, my man. No, go for it. Go for it. And then they'll
So do you
end
want to
on
hear it from
Tony
my
C.
perspective? I mean, if you
Let's
look
do
at it, yeah, I mean, Ramsdale for me and that, without him last season, you would have lost a load of more games. Big up, Del Boy. Good to see you on it.
Big up Del Boy,
Um,
big up to you, man.
With Ramsdale and that, he kept you in a lot of games. There's no
Yep.
two ways about it. And near towards the end of the season, when obviously Saliba got injured, your biggest problem there as a keeper, do you rely on your back four? Because you knew suddenly your linchpin in Saliba, basically, he was the one that kept the back four solid. And then as soon as he got injured, you could see there was that kind of weakness. So as a keeper, you're kind of thinking, if I go out, I leave my goal exposed. And then obviously it's an easy target. But I can't rely on my back four because they don't know how to deal with the ball. So he was getting pelters from people saying how crappy Sally become. And it's like, well, no, look at the bigger picture in my eyes. So Raya coming in, I know I saw the stream last week, and it's a case of who's the better keeper. They're both good quality keepers. There's no two ways about it. They're both good quality keepers. So I agree with DJ Lee, and I think you even said it yourselves. It's a case of when it comes to the Champions League, maybe you play him then, and you then play Ramsdale in the domestic league. As for Turner, one thing I say about your club, you did your business early. And it was, for once, that just shows the ambition that Arteta and the club have actually got.
Once.
We know they've backed him 10 times over, which any other manager would have been gone. So this is your opportunity to do well. And I think, you've got more of a fighting chance possibly. But instead of having that light bulb that he's going to show in the change room to your players, he needs to get one of those strip lights and use it as a lightsaber, because basically you've got to hit the road running when the season starts. Simple as that.
Yeah.
That's my outtake on it, guys, anyway.
Perfect.
And finally, Tony C, take us out on this. What do you think, David Raya?
Poo, poo,
Poo,
poo.
poo, poo, baby.
See, guys, say it's very simple. Let's don't dilly-dally about this thing, yeah. Raya is a more, for me, is a more dedicated goalkeeper. His stats shows it, because I'm this kind of guy, yeah, that I use statistics a lot to check. So when we are bringing our ideas and talking of our ideas, you're talking out of a place of reality. You're talking out of a place of non-bias. You're just bringing up the facts and stating the facts. Just look at Brentford last season, yeah? With total goofballs, yeah, in their defense. Arsenal have more superior defenders on paper, yeah? These guys have me, Pinnock, Zanka, yeah, in the heart of their defense, yeah? These guys, totally unknowns, yeah? And these guys are just shipping in. Check this out. These guys are just shipped in about 46 goals last season. That was the total goal haul these guys shipped in last season. And Arsenal, who chased Man City for the title, yeah, shipped in about 43 goals. Do you see the difference between Arsenal, who was going for the title, and Brentford? There's something in there. Either the goalkeeper is a good distributor of the football that we're talking about, or the goalkeeper knows how to arrange his defense properly. So imagine putting that guy, David Raya, in a football club that have the resources, that have maybe more better defenders in name. Just imagine how it will look like. Now, this guy helps them out in terms of distribution. Just check out his distribution.
Absolutely cooking. Keep going.
Check out his distribution. See, I don't want to, guys. Yeah, I don't want to bore you guys with the statistics. I have everything.
I'm not bored.
You are Tony. You are absolutely cooking. Go.
Go.
I don't want to bore you with the statistics, comparing and contrasting between, of course, these two goalkeepers. But one thing I would say is I do respect Ramsdale. We heard what happened to him. It's a sad story. But see, one thing you should know is that we're fans of Arsenal Football Club. Yeah. So if I'm not going to give Mikel Arteta a chance for faltering in the league next season, I'm not going to give any other person a chance. I'm sorry for what happened to him, but I'm sorry. It's Arsenal we're talking about down here. You have to be alert because there are many people who take this game more emotionally charged than these players do. And plus, the guys who are watching this game are paying their hard-earned money to come and watch football. Yeah, while Ramsdale is rich, is a millionaire, and these guys have the luxury to be emotionally charged when it comes to their football club. So
Yep.
Ramsdale hasn't done anything so huge to really kind of like lose his position. I'm sorry, Raya is not coming here to sit down on the bench. This guy can scrap. Is coming here to take positions. I'm sorry, Ramsdale got this position, took this position away from Leno, which I was sorry about that because I do respect Leno as a goalkeeper. Well, I'm sorry if Raya comes in and takes over. Uh, I'm totally up for that. Just give me a good performance. That's what I want. That's what Oregon gonna want.
Yeah,
For crying out
exactly.
loud, that's what the American idiot himself wants. TJ, don't you want? Come on, man. Come on.
All I want is the team to win. I don't care who gets us there. I don't care who gets us there. I've said it once. I'll say it 1,000 times, and I'm going to say it many times throughout the season. Whoever gets the job done is who I want in. Period. I'm not emotionally attached.
Somebody said, I heard somebody say that they thought Raya was really like an 11th outfield player with his distribution being so good, And there's something to be said that. But like I said before, all goalkeepers are going to make mistakes. So I'm just waiting for David Raya to have a few howlers or one or two, and the Arsenal top Gooners fan base, oh, get him out, put Ramsdale back. I mean, that's typical. Our fan base is that we're so hyped for a player, then they start to make some mistakes and we hate them all of a sudden. And I hate
Yeah,
for
of
David
course.
Ray to have to go through what Aaron Ramsdale went through when he got here, because that was basically illegal abuse in some cases that could have been detected by the FBI. But anyway, Tony Claude, early doors, TJ Warren. It's 1:22. We've been on for an hour and 20 minutes.
We did it.
Look at this.
We did it, everybody.
Right.
It was a hell. It was
We
a
did
hell
it,
of a
everyone.
show. It was a hell of a show. My boy. Yeah, my boy Dal reminded me of the time. Thank you so much. I actually do have to be somewhere here in a few minutes. Big up everybody inside. I would name everybody, but I don't have the time. You're all legends. Please make sure you smash the like on your way out. And if you're watching on playback, make sure you are saying hashtag Dal was right, because guess what? He was.
Right.
I don't know what he was right about. I don't know what he was right about, but he was. He was right.
But I would say
He's always right.
everyone go back and watch the morning show today that Southern Gooner did. It was fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Hashtag Hope Strategy.
Hashtag Hope Strategy in
some
the
of
comments if you're watching on
Yeah.
playback,
Great
everybody.
stuff there.
Hashtag Hope Strategy. Big up, Maddie. Let's start going around the panel one more time. Shout yourselves out, boys. Let's start with Tony Claude.
Hey, see ya, guys. Say it's a big honor to actually come down here and chop it up with TJ. Yeah. And of course, Oregon Gooner, man. I can't overstate who you are to me, but big ups to you, man. You've really helped me in my channel to grow my channel too. Big ups to you. TJ, the American Idiot Show. Look at what you've put down here, man. You're a legend. Yeah. Look at what you've done. Yeah. I knew when
I'm
you
surrounded by
taking this,
legends. I'm not a legend. I'm
seriously.
surrounded by them.
Jesus Christ, like what you've done, yeah, in a couple of months. I can't believe it, man. Big ups to you. More strength to your elbow. And guys who are here, me and TJ will be doing some watch alongs next season. So you have to be there. Come around, me and him will be doing it. We might have to, think about where we will actually be doing it. If maybe sometime I can come to this channel or he comes to mine, we'll think about that.
We'll
But see,
alternate.
yeah,
We'll alternate.
guys,
Yeah.
yeah, sure. Guys, join me on Tony Cloud Gunner TV. Subscribe to my channel. I'm this kind of guy that I sample opinions, yeah, and I don't hate on any other person's opinions. I give your opinion a fair listening to, yeah. So come around and just subscribe to the channel Tony Clark Gunner TV, and subscribe to the other guys you see down here. Oregon Gunner plays some games. He could be playing football in the middle of the night in Europe. At least down here, go support him sometimes.
Winning mentality.
Come to the streams where he's always at, and come support him. TJ, could be doing some comic stuff anytime, any day.
Yep.
Subscribe to the channel if you're just a passerby. And of course, Ellie Does Football TV doing great things on his channel. Go down there and subscribe to this guy, yeah? Knowledgeable in
Thank you,
football,
sir.
football IQ top notch. Just go and show this guy some love, yeah? Big ups, and join me on Tony Clark Gunner TV. Big ups.
All right. Thanks, Tony. Appreciate it every single time. Poo, poo, poo. Tony Hammer. Tony Hammer, Early Doors Football TV. We met in the chat, but I'm really glad we got to meet in person today, man. Thank you so much. Shout yourself out.
As you can see, that way above my head is the name of my channel, and got kind of speaking to you guys, and it's been a privilege and honor to actually come into your channel and be part of this great stream that we've done today.
Thank you.
Without it, the people in the chat, the real ones that help support us and talk with us, and we've developed a great relationship with these people, and even in my short period of time, it's been an honor and a privilege. So yeah, Tony Claude, Dow especially, we've spoken many times over many channels.
Yeah.
It's been a privilege to actually kind of speak to you, in person, and obviously the one and only, the one who's frowning like a good one for some reason. I don't know why. It's been a good stream, TJ. Don't worry about it. It's been good.
No.
already said-
I look at
TJ
something. I'm a
Watt
worry
forward.
word. Don't worry. Thanks, man. No, I saw something completely unrelated. Sorry, it's completely unrelated. Work
No,
has been a challenge.
I'm dressed though, TJ. You're fine. I'm actually dressed. You've got no worries. You didn't have to see that.
There's
All right,
imagination like Carl Rossi.
Big up everybody again.
Yeah,
Dal,
big ups
tell
TJ,
yourself out,
big
my
ups
brother.
everyone in the chat. Carl Rossi, Jamio, Mama Flossie, Beehive, all these guys, big ups to you. Thanks for supporting this channel. And always come please to support this channel. Very big, very big. Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thanks
it.
everybody.
Dal.
Thanks everybody for
Don't
joining us
forget the one
today.
and only Jez Collins as well. Don't forget that man as well, Jez Collins. Don't forget him as well.
Jez Collins, legend every single time. And by the way, I said on the show on Tottenham Away yesterday. I said on the show with Gunner Gathering, go back and watch that yesterday. If you want to blame anybody for me being on YouTube, you blame Jez Collins. You go over to his channel, you subscribe to Jez Collins, and then you start blaming him for TJ Warren TV. That's what you start doing.
Send him a bottle of red wine for Christmas, for God's sake.
Exactly. Big up, Jen. Big up, Jen.
He's
done a lot for our channel. He's done a lot.
Again, thanks everyone in the chat. Tony Claude, my guy. I'll see you, I believe, Monday for our second show. And
Yeah.
Early Doors, Tony Blackwell. Talk to you a lot with Tell and Diesel. And tell Terry that he's welcome anytime on the show if he wants to get his Arteta kissing ass ripped apart. You're welcome to join. And we'll bring Diesel on a surprise guest. But no, shout out to Jez Collins, the capo of the community, Jaminho Carl, of course, Mama Flossie, Badger, Gary, Drew, Isabella, hello. And can't forget the Queen, the Queen Mama Flossie down there that makes it all happen for a lot of our channels as well. Great show today, guys. I think that we just got to keep that winning mentality, push it into Sunday. Let's see what happens. And I'm predicting myself a 3-2 win with Saliba at the deck.
All right.
Go.
Okay, guys.
Yeah.
This has been TJ Warren TV, American Idiots episode 22. Make sure you're smashing the like if you're watching this on playback. We will be back tomorrow with a call-in show to celebrate our 400 subscribers. Thank you so much, every single one. So you want to talk to us? We'll post the link in the chat. We'll talk for a few hours. It'll be great. And then after that, we will have the match reaction to the Community Shield. And of course, join us in Lee Gunners chats as we watch Man City take on the mighty Arsenal. Until then, we are Out.